Hey, good afternoon, trappers. Hey, I'm here in the fur shed today. I've been making anchors. I was up in Little Valley, New York, the last couple days helping a buddy up there at the New York mini rendezvous that they just had. Today was the last day. But I just got back, and while I was up there, I bought some super stakes for anchors. So this morning I went ahead and started making some up. But wanted to talk a little bit about why I'm going with super stakes. For the longest time, I've been using these guys right here. These are duck bills. There's a brand new one. You can see what it looks like. And I have been extremely happy with them. They're super duper light. They're made out of aluminum. They take a smaller driver, which is also very nice and light, and they just slide in there and you just pound them down on the ground. The only disadvantage I can see with them is I go through a lot of drivers. You're putting out a few hundred sets every year. I got to keep at least 3 of these, maybe even 4, in my little stock, because I either end up bending the tips here, and then after you bend them, you can a lot of times get them bent back, and they'll work for quite some time, but eventually they just break off. Honestly, it's really the only disadvantage of them. But the other issue that I'm having is getting them. The last couple years where I used to get them, they no longer carry them. They said they can't get them. Something's going on. I'm not even 100% sure. But I'm having a hard time getting these guys. So last year I went ahead and bought number 2 chain, because I knew coming here in the future that I'd be switching probably to super stakes. They're very readily available, and I can get thousands and thousands of them. So last year I bought some number 2 chain. I ended up still using duck bills last year, and I actually ended up using that chain for another purpose on my trap line, but this year I don't believe I'm going to be using that chain for that same purpose. So today I started cutting them. I've been cutting them at 16-inch lengths, and I've been attaching them. So I'm basically going to go ahead and finish cutting the chain, and as soon as I get done cutting the chain, I'm going to show you here how I attach them, and we'll go from there.
I hear that train a-coming, coming around the bend. Ain't seen the sun shine since I don't know when. Man, I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps dragging on. And I hear that train a-rolling on down to San Antonio.
Well, I just got all that chain done here. I'm going to get the camera repositioned here so you can see what's going on. And we're going to do some of these up. Try to do this so you guys can see. Alright, so like I said, I'm doing 16 inches of chain. In my area, my trap line, actually all my old anchors that I used out of cable, they're actually only 12-inch. Every once in a blue moon I would run into a spot where I could probably have used a little bit longer anchors. So what's nice with the chain is, even if I only get that 12 inches in there and I got a little bit left over, it'll just lay flat down in my bed. Where Cable doesn't do that. It wants to stick up and it wants to try to poke through up where your trap is, and sometimes that can just be a pain in the rear. So that is one advantage with chain over cable, but it's a lot heavier than cable. So there's some pros and cons. We're going to give her a try this season, and I'll try her out. But basically, you just start with an S-hook, go through the chain on one side, use your super stake on the other, and give her a shut there. Shut her on that side, and then one last squeeze, and you're good. The thing I've noticed when I've been doing these, one side wants to just go a little bit cockeyed there on the one side. Not a big deal. I just stick it in my vise, squeeze her tight, and we're good to go. So there's another anchor done. So it doesn't take long at all. Now, I will be welding all these shut, all these S-hooks. The process just isn't done for there. It doesn't take long to weld them shut. I'll probably have another 45 minutes and up to an hour on welding them, but not a big deal at all. My welder's not here. It's down at my father-in-law, so I'll go down there and finish them up. Just a little crimp there on that side, and now she's straight again. But yeah, I'll be welding. I'm not sure if you can see that, but basically I'll be putting a weld right here and right here. Just a little bit of bead of weld, and that'll weld that shut, and they're good to go. So that's what's going on today. Just trying to prepare here before season, get these done. Got quite a few of them here to make up. So I know a lot of guys use the vise to do these, but honestly, I feel like I can do them a little bit quicker with this tool. This is just a cheap little S-hook, J-hook tool. I actually got these. I have 2 of them. Whenever you make an order through F&T, if your order's over a certain dollar amount, you get to pick, I guess, a free prize. And they have videos. They got tools such as this. They got lure that they give away. I believe it's if you order anything over $100. But I purchased these, and for this particular job, they work really, really well. So I tried using this tool, and it does work. It's just a little bit, just slightly slower. It's another J-hook tool, and but for doing these, it's a lot faster. Just put that in the vise, give her a little tug. So that's what's going on there. All right, so the other thing I wanted to talk about, let's say you don't have access to a welder, or you just plain simple don't want to be running chain. The whole welder part, that is critical, guys. You got to weld these S-hooks after you get it bent. That is very crucial. If not, when you start pulling your traps back up out of the ground, because you don't want to be leaving these. These are too expensive to be leaving in the ground. And if you don't have those S-hooks welded, bubble welded out here on the ends, you're going to be losing a lot of your super stakes or wolf fangs, whatever style anchor it is that you're using. So your other option is use cable. There's nothing wrong with cable. It's all I've ever used, and it has worked extremely well. What I like about cable is it's a lot lighter. Now I do 90% of my trapping out of the truck, so it doesn't really matter. The only time that I'm typically doing any kind of hoofing is during cat season. But coyotes, fox, all that, coon, I'm trapping pretty relatively close to my truck. So for me, it's not going to be a big deal as far as weight goes going to using chain. And matter of fact, come cat season, I might even make some of these up with the super stakes just so I can get rid of some weight, because I do some hoofing, a few hundred yards, 500, 600, 800 yards up through the mountain. When you got 8-10 traps with you, with that extra weight of the chain, you start to feel it. So there's nothing wrong with using cable. I'm going to show you real quick here how I do it, and then I'm going to show you another way that you can do it if you don't have a swaging tool. And all you need, your most critical thing that you're going to need is a decent pair of cable cutters. That is pretty critical, because when you go to shove the end of that wire in through your ferrule, you want it to be nice and clean so there's not a bunch of burrs. Otherwise, it's just a headache trying to get it pushed through the ferrule. So let me show you how I do it, and we'll go from there. So get the camera here readjusted so you guys can see what I'm doing here. And we'll go from there. So if I want a 16-inch long earth anchor, I got to cut it to 20-inch. So take my cutters, my cable cutters, like I told you. I got a rule here on the end of my workbench, and I go to 20-inch. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that to 20-inch, which is roughly right there. These are double ferrules. You need to be using double ferrules, guys. I think a pack of 100 of these is only $7-8. So get to your local trapping supply place and pick you up a pack of however many you're going to need. But each anchor takes 2. So if you buy a 100 pack, you can do 50 anchors. But I'll take double ferrule, push her in on one end, take my earth anchor, go in through that side, and then all you're doing is you're just looping that through. Try to do it here so you can see her, and then you're just pushing her out. I usually push her out just a little bit on the one end, then you can grab it, and usually the earth anchor side, I tighten her up pretty decent, but not too much that doesn't want to swivel. So then I come over here to my swagement tool. Now I have a bench mount swager here, but if all you have is a hand mount, or not a hand mount, but just a hand swager, that'll work just as fine. I always give her at least 2 crimps, and you're good to go. Gives you a nice crimped ends. So then we come up here to the top. This will be the end that your swivel will attach to off of your trap. And I like just a decent sized loop. That's probably roughly 1 inch. So right there you got 2.5 inches of total cable right there. But that's about the size that I go. I don't go measure them or anything. I just kind of eyeball them. Put them right back in your swaging tool. Give her 1 crimp down. Then I give her another. So there you go. If I come over here, I should have a 16-inch. And I do. It's perfect. It's right on 20 or 16-inch, guys. So there's absolutely nothing at all wrong with running cable. It's definitely cheaper than chain. Maybe in the long run, chain's a little bit cheaper, only because you don't have to keep replacing it. But this is definitely a lighter option. So, but I'm going to try chain this year. and we'll see how she goes. But let me show you one more option. If you don't have a swaging tool, that's fine. Still, the only thing you need is your cable cutters, and then your ferrule, your cable, which I got another piece of cable right here, and a hammer. So let's make another one up here real quick. I'll just show you how you do that with the hammer. Again, stick one side of your cable through your ferrule, then through your anchor, then it goes right back down into itself, and then I just pull that semi-tight. Then I'm going to come over here to the vise. Just give her a little tap without smashing your thumb. That'll hold her, and now you can take her home. I'll tell you what, guys, that ain't going anywhere. This is a great option if you don't have a swaging tool, and that works really, really well. Then I would just take another ferrule, same deal. Take the loop here on this side, just like the last one. Whatever size loop you're happy with, that'll work for me right there. And there we go. Couple of taps here out on the end, and then there we go. Got another 16-inch earth anchor here. She's ready to go out on the trap line. So I hope this helps you out. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the post below, and I'll try to answer anything you got. Thanks, guys.